second try. I moved down the street. I moved a little further down the street, and this is a different Wi-Fi supplier. So let's see what happens this time. Good. I got my chat up. Got it set up so that I can see your comments. And now I've been here 30 seconds, and I chased you all away from my previous mishap. Look at how big this steering wheel is when I put that camera there. I'm going to have to find a new spot to put the camera. Anyway, Sunseeker, that's much better. Take two. I moved to down the street a block and a half to the next parking spot I could put my bus in. It's a short bus, so I can park pretty well anywhere, but I don't like to park if there's not much room on either side of me. So I find big holes to drive into, and then I can just leave my, basically drive into the parking spot instead of having to back up, the normal way in which you learn how to parallel park. I don't like backing into the spots because I can't see shit behind me. And, it's just, I like convenient stuff, but it's good to have a short bus, unlike Sunseeker's bus. That's their biggest problem is when you go downtown somewhere, you're just going to have a hassle finding a place to park that just to jump out. And you can't do what I do. You can't just go to Starbucks. Yeah, your bus is too big. I saw your video the other day, or I don't know, today I saw the video. This is Sunseeker did a video about going to a cabin in the woods, and it reminded me of my father-in-law's cabin, which was 70 miles up a gravel road, 6 miles up a dirt road, 7 miles up a river, up across a lake. So it was pretty remote. So Sunseeker went to a remote location himself in northern Ontario, I guess. Chat publicly, it lets me chat too. So Mike Brown's here for take two. Sunseeker says it's better. Mike Brown is laughing at Howard Things. Traveling Art Guy says hi again. Mike Brown, when are you leaving to go south? I'm going south about, well, I'm supposed to have a granddaughter born on October 7th, I think October 17th. And so sometime after that, about the 20th to 25th, I'll be leaving and then heading south. And depending on the weather, I'll either go fast or slow. If it's nice, I can go short distances. If it's raining, I can't see any point in stopping and, hanging out in the rain and the cold for longer than I need to. What do we got? Traveling Art Guy. I was glad to buy a sticker from you this week. Cool. That was you? I didn't know that. Thank you, man. It was an awesome, it's absolutely awesome to meet new people, meet people that have been following me or whatever. Yesterday I did a video with a guy from Alberta who came to Vancouver and has been following me and some of my friends. And he started to make videos, so we made a video together. It's really fun to hang out with other like-minded people for any period of time. Anyway, thanks for dropping by and picking up the stickers. Is Jasper still going with you? No, Jasper is planning to stay in Vancouver, or this area up in BC, until he gets his truck finished, which he expects to be around Christmas. So I think his plan is, there's Mike Brown with $10 super chat. Thank you, Mike. I need some gas. This time of year, this is when I need all the help I can get, because it's going to cost me at least $500 in gas to get down to California. And, depending on what my income is like, I'll have to go slow or slower, or I can go do that quickly. But the initial phase is to get from Vancouver to warm weather, which is Vancouver to San Francisco or south of San Francisco as fast as possible. No, Jasper is going to hang around here until Christmas. I think his plan, what he told me the last time, and he makes a new plan every day. So as of today, or as of the other day, before he's been sick for 3 or 4 days, so I haven't talked to him much. But his plan was to hang out here until Christmas and then head down. Like, I think at Christmas, Chrome is doing a Christmas party in Vancouver, so he's going to go to Chrome's Christmas party and then start to drive down after that towards California or Arizona, depending on where the RTR is. So then he's probably going to come down the west coast to California, and we're going to hang out in California together and then drive to the RTR wherever that happens to be. So, but he's not coming down with me right away. Although I might have some other van dwellers who do decide to come with me. It's kind of up in the air. Most of us don't really make plans too far in advance. We kind of go, okay, I'm sick of this shit. Let's get out of here and go somewhere else. That's more or less how people plan. Anyway, Roy and Becky's Travels. Hey there, how you doing? No more comments. Nobody else is saying anything. This is a question and answer Q&A, and it would be really good if you guys asked the questions. The only questions I get, like in the bus, the questions I get from the public are, where do you park? And I'm 20 feet, so I'm legal anywhere in terms of length. I'm too high for a lot of places. Like, I can't park in front of a store during business hours for more than 2 hours, because, or at least that's the normal. So because they need to have people see their signs. And so it's pretty unfair for me to park this bus in front of a business and not let anybody see their signs. I don't want to have a negative impact on their business. So I try to live by that kind of rule. But at nighttime, I park wherever I want, but I never park where I think somebody could have an objection. Meaning, if I don't go looking for a residential area and park in front of somebody's house, because that guy, if I owned the house, I might look out the window and say, what the frig is that bus doing there? Who's that? Why is he parked in front of my house? I might have kind of a negative response. And if I was a real asshole, I'm kind of a fake asshole most of the time. I'm actually a kind-hearted guy, but I can be an asshole. Anyway, so if I was having a bad day or whatever, I might just phone the cops and say, get that guy with the bus out of my front yard. So all I need to do is complain, and the cops will come and get me. So why would I put myself in a place where people might complain about me? What else do I do? Oh, one of the things that I learned that's kind of interesting, last winter when I traveled south, I was in completely weird areas like small towns and that sort of thing. But basically, I parked along the Highway 101 right on the beach in some of the little cutouts that were there. And I wasn't getting hassled anywhere except when I parked in a state park. And then he only came around in the morning when I was already awake and already planning to leave in 5 minutes. He came around and asked me to leave, but he didn't let me stay 5. He said I had to leave in 4. So that was fine. The only time I've ever been bothered where I parked. But the thing is that last winter traveling south, every time I got to a town or near a town, I looked for McDonald's or Starbucks because I could get Wi-Fi to upload my video. So I realized after, many days, that every time I go and look for McDonald's, I can usually park within a block of McDonald's. So when I got to San Francisco, I looked for McDonald's. I found a McDonald's, and McDonald's are never parked around people. Their stores, their outlets are never around a whole lot of residential homes. They're usually on a street that's quite large, often quite busy. They're in almost a kind of commercial if I find McDonald's, I can order sometimes in shopping. So when I'm in a completely strange place and it's dark and I have no idea where to go, I go to McDonald's and I park near there. And it's been a kind of fail-safe solution for me all along. Anyway, there's me rambling away with a big long story. How many miles per gallon? My bus gets 11 miles to the gallon, and it doesn't matter if I'm going uphill or downhill, driving slow, driving fast. Every time I've measured it, it's 11 miles to the gallon, which is not really very exciting when I got to pay that, it's like $1.50. 11 miles to the gallon is like 35 cents American or 50 cents Canadian per mile. It's actually quite a bit of money, which is why it costs me so much money to go to California. That's 1,200 kilometers for about 500 bucks, or around 1,000 miles for 500 bucks. Roy and Becky's Travels is 109. Oh, you got 109 subs. You helped me get 50 the other night. This is something that many people don't really understand, and they may not understand it about YouTube until they actually get here and try to have a channel. If Becky and I were in business and we both painted houses, we would both bid on a house, and of course Becky would be cheapest. She'd get the job. I'm just kidding. One of us would be cheapest, or one of us would be able to sell the job, but the other one wouldn't get any money. Only one of the people get money from that transaction. In YouTube land, every person that what is it, Becky and where is it, Becky? Oh, Roy and Becky. If Roy and Becky brought their friends to YouTube just to watch Roy and Becky, and Roy and Becky said, hey, you guys should go check out Gus and the Bus, their friends become my followers. So every person that is on YouTube is a resource for all of us. So if I bring in people to YouTube, then they become followers of everyone else. And so everybody should be trying to help each other be as successful as possible. And there should be no jealousy, because the most successful guys are bringing us more possible viewers. So I have this whole idea about everybody should be, trying to help each other out. So go subscribe to, you can see the link there. You can probably click on their name, Roy and Becky's Travels. How's that work, Roy? Becky? Mike Brown, do you have a inspection on the bus before you leave for down south? I think throughout North America, if you travel between provinces or states, you have to have a vehicle inspected. If you're selling it in the other province or trying to license it in the other province or state. So this bus was commercial. I had to have a inspection to turn it into a consumer type of vehicle. And once I got it turned into a consumer vehicle, I no longer need to do any inspections. But if it was to be sold in another state or province, then another inspection is required. But I don't need one just to go across the border. The only thing, I don't smoke marijuana or anything, but the only thing anybody needs to do in terms of an inspection when they cross the border is clean it all out, make sure there's nothing in there that the dog would sniff and create some alarm for the people. What do you call it? The border security people. Yeah, and Mike Brown says he found Gus because of Chrome, and some of my people found Chrome because of Gus, and some of Jasper's people find actually Jasper's followers are all younger, so he doesn't give me any followers. It's all a one-way street with Jasper. I put him in my video and I put a link in there, and he makes a video with me, and he just says that's some old man down the street. I only said that to hassle Jasper in case he's watching. Traveling van man, awesome. Thanks a lot. Gas, that's what I need, gas. It's awesome to have those super chats. They help a lot. That those funds go into YouTube and are paid out. Just to give you an example how that works, uh, they would be paid to me around the 27th of November, 22nd of November. So the money goes in there and it's awesome. But remember, it hangs out there for a while. But still, it's awesome. I get some gas. That's like in the end of November is about when I need help, because I'm going to be starting to think of where to go to that RTR and stuff. Roy and Becky's travel, me too. Me too about, found Gus through Chrome. Chrome's been a super ally. We like each other. We're good buddies. But, first year I traveled down the coast and I had 40 subscribers. And then I found him on a live like this, and he goes, "Oh, go follow Gus on the bus." So I've been working at it for 3 months, and I only had 40 subscribers. And then Chrome said, "Go follow him. Let's get him up 100." So at the end of an hour, I had 140, just because, we share, right? Because we share and promote each other. The more we promote each other, the more the better we will all do. So that's why we're like that. And of course, we like each other, I mean, it's a normal. Isalex. How do I wish I knew how to pronounce that. Islex. I think when I was watching your video the other day, what did it sound like? Oh, it's like, no. I can't remember, but it was like a common name, Elise, something like that. The way you said it seemed to be like Elise. Anyway, I hope that's close enough. Elise. That would be a better. Anyway, it's French, so I guess it's French. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. John Chalker, how are you? Gus is Gus is John Chalker from Waterbury, Connecticut. How are you doing today? Great. It's nice to see you live. Yeah. Connecticut's a long ways away. I hope it's a little bit warmer, but I know the East Coast is a lot cooler, and I don't think Connecticut is so far south that you're necessarily warmer than we are. At nighttime here, it's about, what would it be? In Fahrenheit, it'd be like 35 to 40 degrees, something like that. So it's close to get, it's cold, right? So that's why I bought that buddy heater the other day. Speaking about the buddy heater, I used to buy $7 green canisters. They were $7 for a green canister. At the best, there's a liter in there. And then I went to buy propane, and I paid by the liter to fill my 20-pound tank. They put in 17 liters, something like that. Anyway, it cost me $17 to fill a 20-pound tank, and there's probably, since it was $1.23 a liter, it's like 1/7 the cost of those little green tanks. So I'm really happy I went past that. But it's funny how you kind of, you put off spending large sums because you can spend a small amount, but that's a kind of a not very smart, because you're going to spend a small amount a lot longer than if you had just invested once in a larger amount. And that's what I found about propane. I've been spending 7 times as much because I buy those little green things. Yeah, nobody can pronounce it. I get it. Islex. Yeah, when you're doing your videos, you have to pronounce it very slowly, and probably at the beginning of every video say, "This is Islex." Say it slowly or something. Viking Van Man says Skull. You say Skull, or no, that was Islex saying Skull to Viking Van Man. We're in Indiana. It's $10 to fill a 20-pounder. Well, yeah, be about that. Like I paid $17, so I can certainly see $10 because when I go down to the States, it's less per gallon of diesel until I get to California, and then I'm going to spend the same in California as I have to pay here in BC. Who else is here? Okay, I'll stay in the video. That's a good. Oh, she's saying that she'll pronounce her name in the video so that we know how to pronounce her name. These people from Quebec, it's kind of weird, you know. They pronounce and say everything really strange, and then they go, well, you know, what's the problem with that? There isn't any problem, except we can't understand you. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm actually just making a joke. Since I was in high school, they have been trying to make Canada truly bilingual. But, you know, if you don't use the language, you forget it. However, because we have a bilingual country, and the one side of the milk carton says milk and the other says late or latte or whatever, you kind of learn a little bit of French just from buying stuff. Viking Van Man, skål means cheers in the Old Norse language. I know that. I always thought it was cheer, like we said skål. My friend was Danish and we said skål every time. I think I told you that. There's a drink called aquavit. I'm not sure it's A-Q-U, yeah, it's aquavit. It was like almost like a redistilled and then redistilled vodka, so it's like super sharp, super strong. And when I drank it, we would say skål, but if you drank a little ounce of it, you had to breathe in and then drink it, because if you put it in your mouth and tried to breathe in, you couldn't. Your body wouldn't allow those fumes to get sucked into the lungs. So you had to drink it, and then your mouth would have to be cleared of fumes before you could start to breathe again. Anyway, it's good stuff. We had a lot of fun with that when we were younger. Check. Oh yeah, Mike Brown is talking about my Patreon. I've got a link to the Patreon that goes at, it's down in what do you call it, in the description. I've always had a small number of patrons, and I've never really known how to what do you call it? I don't know how to offer them something new, because I mean, like, it's not, how would I put it? The numbers of patrons has been so small. It's not like something you can give them every day, because it just doesn't work. You know, like, in other words, it's not a good return on a person's time investment. So I've never been able to figure out what to do with the patrons and how to help them, or how to provide them with something that's a little different and reward them for helping me. I really don't know what it is. So if any of you guys have got any what do you call it, any ideas, that would help. I know that Chrome puts videos up there but he makes, like, you know, 5-10 videos at a time, and he can put them up onto his patrons. But I make a video and upload it. I make a video and upload it. And if I was to hold them up for a day, it actually just creates extra work. Doesn't really benefit. It doesn't benefit anybody. And on those days when I get behind, which I'm almost always behind, I'm obviously never ahead, because I don't. Oh, this is saying low battery for some reason. That's odd. Oh, because that wasn't plugged in. So because I'm never ahead like he is, I'm not shooting a video and then basically my video is about my day and then I upload it. And so because of the way it works for me, I can't really load like tomorrow's video on Patreon for the patrons today. So I don't know what to give my patrons. I just don't know how to do that. Woohoo! Thanks, Roy, Becky, Viking Van Man. Oh, John Chalker, Gus. This is John. Connecticut. You can give them a card once a month as a thank you. The problem is that the people pay $1, and it costs $1.50, or it probably costs $3, just like with an envelope and a stamp and a card. It costs $3 a month to send it to them. So if that was the case, I'd rather not have patrons. They're all costing me $2. See, that's part of the problem, is that the offerings are never, how would I put it? Patrons never given me a total of $20 in a month. So $20 doesn't, if it's, even if it's a once a month thing, you can't actually spend money on 16 patrons that give you $20. You can't go spending money, because there's no point. It's like you give me $1 and I give you $1.20 back. That doesn't, well, I mean, the point is that the patrons give me money to help me out, I think, not to be a cost. So that's the way in which I think it works. But I'm, not really sure. I can't do what Chrome's doing, because it just doesn't fit into my timeline. But maybe there's something, maybe a special video or something like that. I don't know. You guys should tell me. My next video is kind of turned into a small 2-part movie. Yeah, Roy and Beck, that's kind of cool. My videos frequently end up, I actually think that if you watched my first videos, you could string them all together and they would be like a long movie. One day you'll get extra B-roll. Oh, well, actually that's not a bad idea, but the B-roll is not, like, if it's extra, it wasn't that good. So, yeah. There are days, like, well, the other day I put together clips. I'd put together a clip, and then the next day I did another clip, and I put them together to make one video. But it is actually possible, meaning, maybe driving down the road without a bunch of edits and things. So I could upload stuff that is, more like behind the scenes, like how I got from A to B, when my movie might have been about A and my movie might have been, or the video might have been about B, but I didn't show anything in between. So maybe that's a good idea for patrons. Yeah, maybe the behind the scenes stuff is a good concept. Oh, a patron live stream. Well, you only got 5 patrons, and Mike, you would be awake, and it would just be me and you. I'm just kind of kidding, but I have 2,000 followers, and I think how many live people on here? Oh, it should say here 14. I have 2,500 followers and 14 people in the live chat. So there would have to be a lot more patrons to do live chats. My reenactment, Roy and Becky,